is 3 years of constant transitions. There's the transition from elementary school to middle school, which usually means more teachers, teaming, lockers, and new organization styles. Then the transition to preparing for high school or even a specialty center. And warning, somewhere in the middle of all of these middle years, lots of personal changes. The CCPS Office of Family and Community Engagement is holding a middle school transition fair, the Middle Ages, at the Career and Technical Center on Hall Street. In this episode of Engage Chesterfield, I will be talking to Tomahawk Creek Middle School Associate Principal, Mrs. Rebecca Thompson, and Mrs. Jennifer Arcome, Assistant Principal at Elizabeth Davis Middle School, to tell us more about this event. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. So, this is a challenging time for many of our families for lots of different reasons. Can you tell us a little bit about this event, Rebecca?
Sure, absolutely. So on Wednesday, May 8th, from 6 to 8:15, we're going to hold this Middle Ages Transition Fair for parents at CTC at Hull. They're going to have a keynote speaker, Lisa McCoo, who's going to navigate through some of the cognitive changes that the middle schoolers have at that age, as well as some strategies for social and emotional wellness. They'll also have some breakout sessions for the parents on time management, homework tips, from everything from the dangers of juuling to some of the social media outlets that the kids will come in contact with in middle school.
So Jen, the students do face certain challenges, and there are parents for the challenges for the parents as well. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that as a middle schooler or a family of a middle schooler they experience?
Sure. So picture when you were told that you were pregnant. What'd you do? You went out and you bought the book, What to Expect When You're Expecting. And somehow when they get to middle school, you run out of those manuals. So unless you've had a sibling, an older child who's gone through middle school, this is uncharted territory. So this is an event that will hopefully kind of get you back to what to expect. And so not only did you talk about the differences and the changes in grades and all of the academics, but there's also what Becca talked about with the challenges of all of that hormonal and middle school difference, all those differences. So hopefully this event will prepare parents for not just what to expect academically, but socially.
And is there anything else that you'd like to add in terms of those challenges or things that you see?
I think there's just so much change in middle school. The kids are coming from elementary school where they're kind of had their hand held a little bit. There's going to be many more teachers, learning styles, different grading practices, on top of what the kids already have to juggle after school with family responsibilities as well as activities or sports. So the more information that we can give to parents and families about what to expect, I think they'll go into this a little bit more prepared.
Because middle school is such a special time. So as middle school administrators, you've spent your career working with middle schoolers. What's your favorite thing about middle school?
I would say just tracking all of the change. So I have the luxury of having my own biological children that are coming into middle school and leaving. So I'm like that poster child parent of transition. I have an incoming 6th grader, and I also have a rising 9th grader. So I'd like to believe that I have something to offer to parents from both sides through the lens of not just the assistant principal, but as a fellow parent. My favorite part is just all of the change. You love them, and some days you hate them, and that's okay. That's exactly what I say about my own children. But then the next day you come back in and you love them again. So I think the change is the most remarkable part.
And what about you, Becca?
I have to agree with Jen. I've had the luxury of being able to be with one set of students through all 3 years. And I was also a teacher in the building ahead of that, all my tenure in 6th grade. So I've been able to see how these students have matured and changed throughout time. And it's really exciting for me to see them move on to the next level of high school now.
That's really great insight. So Becca, can you go over the details of this event again?
Sure. It's Wednesday, May 8th from 6 to 8:15 p.m. at CTC at Hull. There's going to be lots of exciting information as well as some pretty great speakers for parents.
Wonderful. Well, this is certainly an exciting event coming up. We look forward to it. Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your time and your expertise, and thanks for everything that you do to serve our families in Chesterfield.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Engage Chesterfield.